is that of the one and only God, who is the self in every finite self. The only real love is the love for this infinity, God, which arouses an intense longing to see, know, and become one with its truth, God. The only real sacrifice is that in which, in pursuance of this love, all things, bodily, mind, position, welfare, and even life itself, are sacrificed. The only real renunciation is that in which abandons, even in the midst of worldly duties, all selfish thoughts and desires. The only real knowledge is the knowledge that God is the inner dweller in good people and in so called bad, in saint and in so called sinner. This knowledge requires you to help all equally as circumstances demand, without any expectation of reward. When compelled to take part in a dispute, to act without the slightest trace of enmity or hatred, to try to make others happy with brotherly or sisterly feeling for each one, and to harm no one in thought, word, or deed, not even those who harm you. The only real control is the discipline of the senses to abstain from indulgence in low desires, which alone ensures absolute purity of character. The only real surrender is that in which poise is undisturbed by any adverse circumstance, and the individual, amidst every kind of hardship, is resigned with perfect calm to the will of God. Avtar Meher Baba Ki Jai.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you, and w- nice to see all of you back. Ashok, you were trying to text me. I think it's
Yes,
to do
yes.
with.
I had some problem in signing in. My apologies to Baba and to you. I was trying since 7:21, 22,
No,
but
you joined. So I even said hello, and then I didn't hear you respond, and then I see those flurry of messages on messages from you. Anyway, so no problem.
it's doing
Uh,
is doing
all's
good.
well.
It's what Baba wants, so it's okay.
All's well that starts well now. Now that you're in. So, uh, uh, yeah. So we're back to where we were, but before that, I was just telling Sanjay ji. So I had a nice evening yesterday, nice Friday evening. I invited somebody I met in. I don't know whether you met him, Sanjay Rusbe Mehta in NPR. He was just next to my
I have
room.
heard this. I have heard this name. Yeah. Yeah.
So he was in he lives and works in Dubai. So I just casually texted him and said, "Hey, why don't we meet?" And then he came over, and I had already looked up one of the events to attend on the Washington DC group. Ravi, you know the group, Christina Riley, Riley, I think, yeah, Christina Riley and group.
Railey. Yeah.
RILEY, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so she runs a group that she just started yesterday on sanskaras, and I think I like the format. It's very nicely done, and small group, maybe 10, 15, 10, 12, no, 15 people joined, but literally all over the world. And it was about 1.5, 2 hours. So for the India time zone, I think it's very tough. It's 10 o'clock India starting time, ending 11:30 on Fridays. So I don't think I can sustain it when I'm not here. But when I'm here, I think it still makes sense, though it reduces the window of my sleep. Because yesterday, of course,
That's the
Ruth.
time, India time during the day, 10
No,
to
no, no, night,
11:30
night,
Friday.
night, 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 night,
Oh,
night, night.
okay.
Very, very late, right? So,
Can you
and
post that
then
link?
Yeah, I will. I will. I will.
Yeah.
Actually, it's only through email that she connects. So I'll share the email with you, and I will let her know that I'm sharing it with our group. And then you can specifically sign up with a request and join. The approach is she has actually strung together multiple books and references to sanskaras. The progress is slow, but it's thorough, and we have to be tolerant of people who are slower and newer to Baba. But I think it was a real fun group. I just felt Baba's presence. Rusbe and I joined together. We loved it, and then it was. I just wanted to share that. Second, something that I already shared on Telegram, Baba Zoom. That's another discovery which has given me a high. I've been having fun. So Baba Zoom is nothing but a calendar service. It started as a very simple but innovative idea. Somebody just paid for I mean, a Zoom connection. That somebody is Angela Chen Ravi, you know her. So she just set up this Zoom connection and said anybody in the Baba world is welcome to come and use this room. So it's like a room, virtual room that you can just join in, and people can use for Baba Sehwas online. Key
Wow.
thing is she also runs a calendar service. Let me open it up. Actually, that will give you a clearer picture.
Uh,
So
Please add or send me the link about that Washington uh, Sevas group. I'll send a mail as well.
yeah, sure. So I'll do it to all the people that I have email addresses for. So this is Baba Zoom, right? So the key concept or the biggest asset that they've created is their calendar. Okay. So this is a group calendar. So it gives all events, including ours. So our event is also listed here now. I requested Angela to list our event. So literally wherever you are in the world, you just pick a time and join a program subject to the rules. So if you go to the rules, right? So yeah, so this is the group, I think again, that she runs. So I'm just opening to give you an idea of how to get used to this. Yeah. So if you see this, there are instructions specifically on what you should do and what you should not do. Most of the programs are on Zoom, but then you can also have programs like ours, which is not on Zoom, but you want to publish to the larger world, and that message should have all the details to connect. So what I have done is in our connection, I have put uh, bu- 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 yeah. So if you see what I have done, I have put all the details that are required to connect to us, right? So just wanted to share this so that you can also use this treasure trove of meetings, Sehwas. You're feeling low, you have some free time, and you want to do something Baba. There you go, right? So you have something. You can go and look up the next possible event wherever in the world, and join in. So I think it's fascinating to see how Baba works and how these simple things, simple, frugal things make so much of a difference to so many people in the world. It may be small groups, these groups may have
Right.
10 people, but then they're amazing to see that Baba has brought it together like this, right?
And
Absolutely.
Karthik, this calendar timings get set from wherever you are
Yes, it
logging
readjusts.
in,
Yeah, it readjusts.
readjust. So
Yes.
these
So
what you are seeing is all Dubai timings.
correct.
Oh, great. That's
So
amazing.
only
Yeah.
only key thing that you and I struggled with, and I know the fix to it now, is
Hmm.
when you add this link, right? So there are links here. So this is what I've shared in the Telegram group as well. So if you
Hmm.
click this, it adds in your own time zone. If you are using an Apple device, you use this. But when you do this, you have a setting on calendar on the phone or on the laptop or on the iPad
Okay. Okay.
where it says that fetch older events, and you can go
Okay.
back however long. So if you make that to 0, then it doesn't
Okay.
fetch fetch
Deselect,
past event.
deselect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before you click this link, you have to do that. And then you can also
Mm-hmm.
switch off the connection and do it, fetch it again. And it doesn't take too much data. So don't
Yeah,
worry if
yeah.
you have
Calendar
already
would
pulled
not
it.
take much data.
Yeah.
That's
So even
clear.
if you have pulled 2 years worth of data, don't worry. Don't fret. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
it's 1 or 2
Correct.
MB. That's it. It's just 1 or 2 MB.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So feel
Karthik,
free to use this, explore this, comment on it, enjoy. They also have a channel. So if you go to the home page, where's so recordings. So they also have a home page and the not a recordings page or a YouTube channel where if the group decides to record their meeting, Angela will put it up as soon as possible after the meeting. So she acts as admin. She makes the program host, the co-host, and they have a protocol. You have to follow their protocol if you're using their room. I am tempted to consider moving to Zoom and moving to Baba Zoom, but I'm still figuring out some details. So just wanted to
Hmm.
keep you all posted on all of this interesting fun I've been having for the last 1 week. So I attended another meeting Monday, which is very, very small group, but then Israel and US, right? And then we had a great time reading discourses. So, in fact, I was on my walk, and instead of my usual YouTube videos on Baba, because I discovered Baba Zoom, I just joined this meeting and I told them that I can't be talking nor can I be on video, but I'm very keen. And believe it or not, it was so good. I came back home 1.5 hours later and we spent 45 minutes talking into like midnight Dubai time with them. So this is what I mean, right? So you can hit up some amazing relationships here. So I hope this was worth the time sharing online.
so Karthik, I just want to share, or rather echo what you just said, that the boss, that's Meher Baba, beats on single string. He's got amazing ways in which he connects all of us together, and technology, of course, has is a really a binding, I can say binding sauce or binding medium. Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, those of you in the US and even others might have heard of this, right? Uh, Circle of Friends. It's a Myrtle
Oh,
Beach
yes.
group. You might have heard of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So this
Angela
started
is
before
a
pandemic.
member,
I'm telling
and
you how he
what's her
works.
name?
Yeah, I joined this actually once or twice. Yeah.
So this is the one.
Angela, and what's her Irani's name? She was my good friend.
Yeah.
Farishte. Farishte.
Fariste. She used to be in
Farishte.
Chicago.
Yeah, Farishte
Fariste.
was on the call last night. So
Yeah.
basically, they did this before pandemic. Before
Yes.
pandemic, they
Yes.
actually set up a physical place. So Baba Zoom is a virtualization of Circle of Friends. So interesting. And I remember reading about Circle of Friends before pandemic. I'm not really following them, but then it's amazing how things work, right? And I think Facebook is the place to be. Unfortunately, I'm not on Facebook, so guys, those of you on Facebook, you're lucky, you have fun and stay
Yeah.
connected with all of
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Circle
Yeah.
of
I was
friends. Yeah.
supposed to give a talk on the Circle of Friends
So
long time ago,
in
but
Dubai,
this.
Facebook is banned or something?
No, I don't. I hate Facebook from the bottom of my heart, so I'm not on it. So I'm not on Insta nor on Facebook because I think
Yeah,
it's
this
too
is the Circle of
invasive in the sense that it takes up too much of data from you, both on the phone, on devices, the cookie policy, everything is messed up. I hate FB. So I actually had an account and deleted it. I'm tempted multiple times every time to say, hey, can I create a Baba only account just to have my Baba life exposed and visible? But
Mm.
Zuck being Zuck, there's no Baba life and separate life. It's me he's after.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, actually, there are very excellent talks on the Circle of Friends video.
I see the
Uh,
YouTube channel.
YouTube. And with the one that I was really impressed is I listened about Adi Karani's death. The four guys were there. One is Jax Small was his roommate in Guntur. How he
Okay.
passed away. There was a talk there. I listened to that long time ago.
Yeah.
They're very good videos, past talks.
Excellent. And another thing to watch again, Baba Zoom, right now at least, is US heavy. So time zone wise, it's a little unfriendly for India. But I found Jeff Wolverton, and that's again for Ashish and Ravi. He runs a late night program weekly, which again is very, very insightful. I mean, I saw a video of one of them which was super, which was just amazing. It was a discussion with someone I'm trying to remember. Too much Baba overload. Right. So it was a beautiful conversation. A couple of, I mean, hour and a half, but it was a video. But then late night again, late night US is too late for me. In fact, it's early morning for me. So anyway, just wanted to share these two things so that people sign up, stay connected, and discover new content which is Baba relevant. And those of you in the US, I'd love to see you next Friday if it works to continue the journey of sanskaras.
I'll try.
Okay.
One more
Sure.
question, Karthik. If
Sure.
the link that you gave, I download, the calendar gets updated,
Hmm.
but the calendar will keep changing as the new events are added
Oh,
automatically,
absolutely.
or
Absolutely. So it pushes new content automatically. So it's beautiful,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
excellent,
if somebody
excellent.
if somebody
Yeah.
adds a new program, you don't have to do anything. It just shows up. So just
Oh,
add it.
wow.
So what I do is I think where do I show you? Yeah. So if you see calendar app, this might be slightly different on Outlook, which is on Windows. I will just show you how this works.
So next week, are you in US, Karthik? Something like that?
No, no, I'm in Dubai. So Dubai time still works. So this is my complicated life, but wait a minute.
You're too busy, Karthik.
No, I'll filter only for the Baba calendar. I knew that was coming. Uh, da, 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 da.
Where is
Well,
Kama? Still roaming around the world?
yeah, so he's the one that let me into this Washington, D.C. idea, which I dearly thank him for. And I thought he'll be on it. And surprise, surprise, he's not even there. So yeah, he didn't. Then I sent him a message saying, "Where are you?" And then he sends a single word message saying, "In Peru." So
Oh my goodness. He sent me the whole itinerary.
uh-huh.
Every 2 days, he's going to different places.
I'm telling you, he's having a ball, man. I think he was just waiting for his. I mean, I'm sorry to say it the way it is. He was waiting for, I think, his father's, because that was kind of bringing him back longer to India. And after his father, now he's like freed up, man. Oh, so
Hmm.
I'm not, so it's not done elegantly on Mac. So the way I did it on my phone, which is where I primarily use my calendar, is I added a new calendar called Baba Zoom. I added a new calendar and I let myself, I select that and only Baba Zoom calendar shows up. So it's something like this. Hold on.
Yeah, he's going to Argentina now.
So I looked up the itinerary. So yeah, so this is how it looks. So you'll see calendars on your right, and when you add a new calendar, you can just uncheck all the calendars and select only the calendar that you want, and that shows up here. So, and you can put colors, you can color code it. That's how you saw so many colors on my calendar. So you can pick a Baba color and then set notification rules for it so that you don't get notified all day, all night for all the meetings, right? So, and manage it like that. But I think it's a good way of staying in touch with this. Yeah. Yep. All right. I think we spent quite a bit of time. I hope this was useful. And now let's get back to reading. Okay, so we stopped here, which is Peer Fazal Shah on page 282. So let's continue with, I'll read for a bit and then we can rotate. Next one is Kotta Lanka. Kotta Lanka, Syed Ahmed Ali Shah. Before we start, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Kotta Lanka must be
in Andhra, right?
Andhra. That's what I was going to say, but we
Yeah.
can look it up. It must be Andhra.
G9.
G9, yeah. G9, there it is. Kotta Mahbub Nagar, Pallavaram. Yeah, it's on the, oh, so it must be on the coast. So it's probably inspired
Near
by Lanka
Vijayawada.
or inspired by Lanka or linked by, I mean, whatever, Kotta Lanka. And by the way, this is Vijayawada, guys. Bezwada. That's the original name.
Bajawada,
Yeah.
my hometown.
Okay, Bezwada. So what's that?
Bajawada.
So what is Bezwada the corrupted British name or Vijayawada? I mean, what's the story there?
Yeah, Bajawada is the English name.
Ah,
They,
okay.
they changed it when I was very young. They changed it to Vijayawada.
Great. And Voltaire is again a prominent train station, but it's again a British name for something, right? What is it?
Yeah, it's a
I
British
think
name. It's a British
it's a different area. Walter area, I think it is different name. The whole city is called Vishakhapatnam. Walter, Upper Walter, Lower Walter. I'm not
No,
very
no.
sure.
Voltaire, I think, is Vijayawada. No, not Vijayawada. Another
Vishakhapatnam.
Vishakhapatnam. Vishakhapatnam. Correct. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
I think the older name is Walter, and the newer name is Vishakhapatnam. But still, there are people who call Walter that area.
Yeah, the train station, I think, still is unchanged. It's still called Voltaire. But I remember that as a child traveling between Calcutta to Bangalore, seeing Voltaire for the first time, and it's a very odd name, so it stuck. Anyway, let's continue. Syed Ahmed Ali Shah, Kotta Lanka, G9, a very high must, a mixture of Jalali and Jamali types, and the spiritual chargeman of the district. He is a very aged and edentulous man, ChatGPT Ashok, who sits naked on the veranda of the house of a Brahmin. This Brahmin respects and cares for Syed Ahmed Ali Shah, and opposite his own house, he has built a dharamshala for those who come to visit the mast. Baidul first went to the mast and told him that Rustum had come, meaning in his mind Baba, and the mast replied, "No, a crow has come. A crow appearing to someone is a good omen that a friend is about to arrive." When Baidul got up to go, he touched the mast's feet in a gesture of respect, and the mast then stood up and hit Baidul in the stomach, telling him to sit down again. For about half an hour, Baidul waited and then again got up to go and was allowed to take his leave only on promise of returning later. Baba later came for contact and left 20 rupees with the Brahmin for a mattress for the mast and also for the purchase of perfumes, of which Syed Ahmed Ali Shah is very fond. So, interesting story with Baidul. And what is a edentulous man? Let's look it up. Lacking teeth. Wow.
Dentulous and edentulous.
Yeah, it's an exotic word for a simple thing.
We're all dentulous men.
Yeah. I'm getting there. Well, I'm not. Let me not attract uh, edentulousness. Let's continue. C3, Baba Said Ahmed Shah, Cook Mokal. C3, I don't even know where this, Kul Mokal, sorry. Must be Pakistan, C3. C3. Hmm. Anybody find Kul Mokal? This is
See,
the
these
three.
blocks are C, right? C is on the
Yeah,
right
this
side
is-
or the upper?
Three
That
is on the right. So this is all three. And C is, I think, 1 second, let me just go and see it. Yeah, this
You
is
too. Oh, yeah, there you go. This is C.
yeah, this one
And
is
the
C.
3 is left side, right? Y-axis.
Yeah. And this is oops.
Be on the C column only.
Yeah. No, but I need to know which
Column
is three.
C and
Now,
Yeah.
first,
This
C.
one, this
C
one.
will be from
Full
1
Mokal.
2 3 from
Full
top,
Mokal.
right?
Here it is. Full Mokal.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is C and this is
yeah,
3.
yeah.
And Lahore se niche
near
hai,
Lahore.
near
Yes.
Bhat, Kanganpur, Layalpur, Montgomery. It's a British name as well. Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's Kul Mokal, Baba Said Ahmed Shah, 1943 July 16th, and then again 1943 September 28th. A tiny old must of the Jamali type, perhaps only 4 feet high, as thin as a rake, who is very fond of opium. He
Wow.
he is nevertheless a good must and is much revered in the district. He keeps cattle and has an ashram where his many disciples live. He is almost naked and covers himself rather ineffectually with a sheet. The journey to this must was also memorable because of the admirable conduct of a Sikh restaurant owner. This man prepared a meal for Baba and his party and close on midnight carried it 2 miles to the railway station. The fellow also refused to accept money, saying that he was doing a service. On insistence from Baba, however, he was prevailed upon to accept his dues. Baba, of course, was anonymous in accordance with his usual custom when contacting musts. So this is right in the middle of the must strips. Kulyan, this again is, I think, either Kashmir or Pakistan. Yeah, Kulyan is Kashmir. So C2, Gurdat Singh. This contact was on the bus journey of Baba and a group of the Mandali to Kashmir in 1929. Near Kulyan, they passed a Sikh who saluted the bus, and Baba thereupon ordered the bus to be drawn up and said, "There is a spiritual atmosphere here, even from the physical viewpoint." Baba and the Mandali got out of the bus, and Ramju then approached the Sikh, who was still standing at the side of the road. Referring to Baba, Gurdat Singh told Ramju, "He is a master, he is a real master, and his grace has been bestowed upon me." He finally added, "May I be sacrificed in the dust under his feet." At that time, Baba explained that he was an advanced soul and a householder, and Baba now explains that he was an advanced pilgrim according to the chapter category given in chapter 1. We know the various steps. 1929, July 29. So advanced pilgrim means he's fourth or sixth, fourth to sixth, 4, 5, 6, I think. Kulyan is here,
Kashmir.
right there, above Haripur, Uri, near Uri. Okay.
By the
This
way,
is,
Karthik, Uri is the famous place where on which a movie also has been made, right?
yeah, I think it's a strategically important place. That's what came to mind. Even Kulyan, I've heard in all the news reports, so that's how I connected.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, It must be war
Just
zone.
passing thought came to me anyway.
Yeah. Next is the Totapuri at Kup, D3. D3. So,
Totapuri was the perfect master, gave God realization for Ramakrishna Paramahamsa.
no, I don't think that is the Totapuri here. I think
Same
we'll read because that is Totapuri Maharaj who was actually living in between Banaras and Puri. I've been to his tomb shrine.
Not
And
Punjab? Not Punjab?
no, not Punjab. So, but you're right. That's the lineage of the perfect master Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So Kup is here. I just pointed it out. It's actually Punjab, not even this side. I mean, not even Pakistan. So it's below this one. Totapuri, a very high and very famous naked Jalali must of the sixth plane. He lives in a little hut near a irrigation canal, and at the first contact was given bananas and some cigarettes. He roams about a great deal and has dogs with him. In 1946, Baba saw him but did not really contact him, for he rebutted all advances. Baidul even gave food to one of Totapuri's dogs, hoping that this might put the must in a good mood. But he was angry at this also, so that they had to give up trying to contact him. This happened, there's a typo here. I think it might be 1942 April. Okay, Kuranwad. Krishna D9. Kuranwad is Maharashtra. Good ittifaki must. Quiz question. What's ittifaki?
Yeah, by chance.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
So a
you asked
must
that
who
question
becomes,
before.
it's in the name itself. Like you rightly picked up. I didn't know the meaning of ittifaq, but like you rightly picked up, it's in the name itself. It's someone who becomes a must suddenly, or by a sudden event that happens in the life, which is a spiritual event, which makes him a must, and he doesn't slip out of that. That's a ittefaki must. A good ittefaki must, having traits of a Jalali, of whom Baba said that he had never seen such a restless must anywhere. The local Raja looks after him and gives him new clothes as often as he seems to need them. At the second contact, Krishna was in the Raja's palace, and when enquiries for him were sent into the palace, he was brought out so finely dressed that they barely recognized him. Baba contacted him in a restaurant, and half an hour later, they found him in another street, again dressed in rags. Whenever he was given new clothes, he used to take them off as soon as possible, tie them in a bundle, and put them in a certain house. All these bundles, and there were many of them, were collected in this house. Krishna is a middle aged, thin, tall, dark complexioned fellow, and he is a good must. The date of contact twice 1941, 1st of October, and again in 1942, January.
There was
This
another Krishna Mast who was a guard, railway guard.
railway station, station master. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know if that's the same, but I'm tempted to believe it might be, right? But then this is the place, Kurunbad. It's actually very close to Mehrabad. It comes on the train line from Bangalore. Um, um, but I don't know if Krishna Mast is the Krishna Mast that you and I are thinking about.
So, Jay Baba, I think this renunciation of good clothes or just giving away good clothes is a sign of renunciation, maybe.
Yeah, symbolic, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
We never understand, we can never comprehend what happened in these 6 years, right? So I've been thinking so much of this book all the time, and I just don't have answers, right? So what was Baba doing with these people? what were these people doing? And there's so many of them. Why are they only in India, right? The Indian subcontinent. So there are so many questions that we may never be able to get to the bottom of. But that's part of Baba's important work, as he has said so many times. And we should be ever thankful to William Donkins for putting this together in such great detail.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
most of the spiritual elevated people are always in the east. And Baba said the only the elevated person was Assisi. What's his name?
Francis of Assisi.
Francis of Assisi, and he was elevated to perfect master.
Perfect master. He was a perfect master. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But by the way, I discovered some content where there is reference to non-Indian must-like or advanced pilgrims, largely of the Christian traditions, Gnosis, I mean Gnostic or biblical traditions, which a Baba lover has put together and came in the glow last year. So we will read that at the end of this book, right? So that will be a good sign off on what we are doing here. It's a current, I mean, last year's article, but then he has done some research and picked up. Obviously, he quotes heavily from Wayfarers, but he also brings out references outside of India, unconfirmed by Baba, but says that possibly these are other examples. But I thought that's a good way to follow up to
Yeah.
this reading. By the way, I also reached out to Nosh before going live with the videos because I didn't want a copyright thing with me showing Glow and all that. So he's very happy for us to read from Glow. So just FYI.
Yeah,
So,
Bhava Culture used to visit a lot of places, right? Australia, England. Uh, I vaguely remember he mentioned that he saw a must in the on the road in the Rush area. I do not remember it's London or somewhere.
Okay.
That and in Australia, in a restaurant, he identified a must, but he didn't tell anybody that was the must. And later on, he told, because if you say that is a must, the other people will go and talk to him and harass him, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So by the way, Rusbe was telling me about Muhammad. So how many on this call have seen Muhammad and had a chance to interact with him?
Must Muhammad? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen. I met
Yeah,
him.
I have.
Oh,
Of course,
great.
there was no interaction. You just go and stand near him, and then
Stand there.
if he wishes, he just says something. Otherwise,
Okay.
I think
So
3, 4 times. Yeah.
was there a thing about him losing his cool and sometimes yelling at people, which was taken to be a
Yeah, but
blessing?
not in front of us because our meetings we go as visitors and just stand near him, and then
And
at
where
a
would he be? He
distance.
would be in
He
MPC.
would be just next. No, 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 not at
Sitting
MPC. Just
Ah,
next to the Mandali Hall.
at
okay,
Mandli
Lower
Hall in the
Mehrabad.
Yeah,
center.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
The
In
in the
the
in the
in
lower
the east.
Mehrabad there's a Mandali Hall.
correct.
Next to it is his cabin, and still you can go and open it up and go inside where he used to stay. Take a key from the office.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, somebody will
We used to
join
give
you
him
and show you.
soaps. He used to like soaps.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he used to call Baba Dada, right?
We don't know.
Yeah, yeah. He used to. It came in the
Yeah,
book
that's what.
itself.
That's what.
In
Yeah,
in in
Dada. Yeah,
Wayfarers, he used to. It comes. He used to
Dada. Used to
Dada.
call
He
him
used to
Dada.
call him Dada. Anyway, Roosevelt was saying that he got yelled at once, which he feels was a nice blessing. So I wanted to bring that up, given some of you might have met him. Okay. Ashish, did you meet him as well?
Yeah, I also met
Yeah,
him.
yeah. You have
Yes.
seen him. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Lahore.
that's great. Sorry, how old are you, Ashish? Sorry.
I am 40 years old.
Oh,
Four
okay,
zero.
okay. So you must have seen. Sorry. Yeah, Jai Baba,
Yeah,
continue.
yeah, yeah. No, I think he
I'm
is the
still.
second generation, so I assumed he must have seen. Ashok, I think, on the other hand, is much more recent in his visits to Mehrabad, right?
no, I've been visiting Mehrabad since 2003, and I still don't remember, but I think I have just seen him.
Yeah, because 2004, I think, is when he passed
He
away. I'm not
died in
sure.
2003.
2003, okay.
Yeah.
So,
And
I,
Karthik, I'm not second generation. I'm third generation actually.
Oh, sorry.
so Mr.
My
Mohan
bad.
Kher had taken me there first.
Okay.
He's the nephew of Nana Kher.
Okay. So, Ashish, curiosity. So, your father's side or your mother's side, or both sides?
Mother side. Mother side.
Interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. And what's the name of your maternal grandfather?
My grandfather name was Nagorao Deshmukh. He used to stay in Nagpur.
Okay.
He was working in the telecom. And if you know Pofuri, so Pofuri,
No.
Khandare Kaka's sister, they used to like in the Nagpur, they used to go to the program, Baba program and all. And
Okay.
in 1968, my grandfather was about to go to visit the Baba. Then he decided we'll go on 1969. But in
Okay.
the 1969, Baba dropped the body. But
January. Yeah.
he said that was his loss actually. He wanted to go, but he didn't go. He didn't meet to Baba, grandfather.
The call
So,
wasn't there.
yeah.
So, your
So
mother
because of
is
him,
from Nagpur.
actually they are from Amravati, but my grandfather was there for work. After his retirement, he came back to India, came back to Amravati.
Okay, so I'm actually trying to trace down one family name who's deeply into Baba in Nagpur. So keep this in mind, and if you find information, get back to me one on one. The last name is Mangalgiri,
Mangalgiri. Yeah, I will note it down.
Nagpur. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
Check with your mom or somebody senior on that side. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me continue. Progress has been slow, but I think we are having fun. Lahore. So now it's quite a bit of Lahori musts. So let's see what the Lahori musts are. Lahore is starting with Amir Chand. Oh, but then we'll just go to the marked ones. Bali Mastan, moderate must who carries a red flag and some sticks. At times, he wanders close to the railway line and waves his red flag so that any driver who does not know him pulls up his train. He travels about in trains all over the Punjab and is well known in many places. He was brought to Baba's house for contact. This is 1943, September 22. He's a guard like must. He uses a red flag. Next is Bap Dikrawala Mast. Bap Dikrawala. This name was given by Baba. It means the father and son must. The real must and a good one is the son, who is now 35 to 40 years old and is naked. The father looks after his boy with much love and reverence and calls himself his son's disciple and says that he, the father, is the spiritual son of his boy. The father appears also to be on the verge of becoming a must, and the two of them are a delightful pair. The son is a typical Madarzad type of must. I was just thinking it will be. So, quiz question: what is Madarzad? So, Madarzad is a must who is a must from birth. Very rare type, right? So he's a born must. That's a Madarzad. So 1946, May 8th was the connection. Right. And we have Jafar Shah. Jafar Shah, Patang Wala Baba. Again, Lahore. So a tall, fat man with long hair and white beard who wears a kafni and has a passion for flying kites, Patang. At the last contact, he was living near the old fort at the northern end of the ancient part of the city. He's a good must. At each contact, Baba gave him some paper kites. The sport of flying kites is much loved by Indian children. Made three contacts. Once, first time 1942 May, 1943 date unknown, but in August, and then 7th of May 1946. Okay. This is still Lahore, right? Yeah, still Lahore. Mana Mastan Pathan, a tall old man and a moderate must who is a comic sight because of his impedimenta. He walks around with a quilt over one shoulder, carries a kettle, a lantern, a cooking vessel, and has two or three big dogs with him. Whenever he finds stray puppies, and these are common in the streets of any Indian city, he carries them in his arms along with his lantern, kettle, and cooking pot, or ties a string around their necks and leads them to his hut. His favorite topic is of going back to Peshawar, his hometown, a topic that he has discussed for many years, it seems, though he continues to live in Lahore. Uh, Pathans are around Peshawar. And then you go to the contact date is 1943, September 30. Impedimenta is equipment for an activity or expedition, especially when considered as bulky or an encumbrance. She collected her briefcase and other impedimenta. So the impedimenta is a kettle, a lantern, a cooking vessel, and some dogs as he may find them. Okay, so I'll read this and then we can rotate the reading. The Mastani Mai. Mastani Mai was a very good Mastani who for 25 years sat in one place opposite the railway station. Those about her said she had been there before the present shops were built, and in 1941 there was a garage immediately behind the place where she sat. Over her head, she wore a shawl that was quite stiff with mud and dust. It was so ingrained with dirt that it looked almost like cardboard. Her face was covered by this shawl. One evening, Baba took Norina. This was on the bus trip from Jaipur to Quetta. Quetta is further towards Afghanistan, further west. Baba took Norina. This is a bus trip from Jaipur to Quetta to see her, and he lifted the shawl away from her face. She had a very dark countenance with strange light bluish eyes, and she looked up adoringly at Baba, put her hands together, and said, Allah. 1941, March. She continues actually. She had a strange habit of burying any food given to her, I think, in the dust by her side. And she did this with a plate of food that Baba had brought for her. It is believed that she has now passed away. This is later in the 40s. So there's another Mastani Mai, but that's not there's no asterisk. Okay, so who wants to read now? Ashok, you missed
Okay.
your. Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Mori Baba.
Mori Baba, 1946, May 7th. A tallish, thinnish, clean-shaven man, 55-ish, with many bundles containing heaven knows what, who sits leaning against a wall in Kanjari Mohalla. Kanjari Mohalla. He is sometimes naked and sometimes wears a few dirty old clothes. He is an adept pilgrim, much revered by prostitutes who feed him. Next is Nawab Ali Shah, 30th September 1943. A good must in Bhagwanpura, a suburb of Lahore. Baidul cycled out to see him first and had a cryptic conversation with him. He said to Baidul, I want to go to Aligarh, but the road is closed for me. There is a.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. He said to Baidul, I want to go to Aligarh, but the road is closed for me. There is a world famous doctor in Lahore, and I'll ask his permission, and if he gives it, I will go. Baidul asked the doctor's name, and he replied, Mauni, the silent one. And he told Baidul that Baidul, came for him, and
From him.
he came from him, and the must was therefore very happy. Baidul then grasped that Nawab Ali Shah must be referring obliquely to Baba, for some must do this at times. The must was so happy that he gave Baidul 1 rupee, a pan leaf, and a packet of cigarettes. Baba came on 30th September and contacted him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it ends there. Okay.
So Sheru Baba, Sherali Shah. This is 1943, November 4th, 1946, May 7th. A very good must who roams naked in a public garden. He was first contacted in a restaurant and he was asked for a hookah to smoke and then for tea and biscuits. In 1946, he was contacted in the garden once more and again given tea and biscuits.
Okay. Yeah. Ashok, you've gone to mute for some reason.
Sorry. The place is Landora, map reference and enlarged A, Kadir Sahib, date of contact is 1942 February. A high must of the Zarali type, sometimes in a Mazub-like state and others in a Salik-like state. He is a tall old man with a beard who wears a kafni and lives in a hut in the wilds. Baba gave him 20 rupees at the time of contact. The journey to meet him was trying, involving a walk over muddy fields in the rain. I think that there is a typo. It should be Salik Lik, right? Or Salik or Saljk, something I've encountered the first time.
Yeah, it's Salik. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Lava. Place is Lava. E8 map reference.
No, I think we'll see Landaura. Landaura is
Okay.
near Rishikesh. There it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Below Roorkee. Below Roorkee is where it is.
It's on, and that's the enlarged A.
That's enlarged from here. Enlargement A.
Correct. So continuing, Lava is the place. E8, Nivutri Maharaj, August 29, 1945. A thin old man who wears dirty clothes and wanders from village to village. He is a very high must, very well known in that part of the countryside, but elusive because of his habit of passing from one village to another. He had a strange habit of bathing once or at the most twice a month only. But that bath would be a very elaborate ritual with 200 buckets of hot water. It must have taxed the capacity of a single Indian village to provide so lavish a bath. But he was held in high esteem that anything he desired was at once carried out. However, tried to contact him first from Kandahar and became involved in a fruitless and tiresome journey. This is described under Kandahar.
So where is Lauha?
E8.
E. Let's go to E and 8. So it's in Maharashtra. Yeah. Kandahar, not to be confused with Afghanistan. It's Madhya Pradesh. Lauha and Kandahar are MP. So, okay. I think Kandahar alphabetically should come below. We will find out. Thank you. Okay.
Now, F8. Allah Wala Baba. A good must in filthy old rags who sits in a little niche near a mosque. When anyone comes up to him, he raises his hands and says Allah and expects those whom he thus salutes to reciprocate in the same way. 3 dates: 1942 March, 1943 October 21, and 1946 May 16.
Allah Wala Baba. Yeah.
So continuing with
this is still Lucknow. Yeah.
Lucknow. 1 second. and Nasiban Mastani, an old woman and an adept pilgrim of the sixth plane who has now passed away. She used to sit near a certain bridge in Lucknow. At the first contact in 1941, Baba gave her a special sari and some sweetmeats. She took some of the sweetmeats herself and gave the rest back to Baba. At the second contact in 1942, she had gone that day to a certain Harijan colony, and Baba went there and gave her a scarf. She first tied this about her head and then at once removed it and gave it to a Harijan woman standing near. She then called for another scarf and did the same thing with it, giving it to another woman there. She was very greatly revered in Lucknow, and it was said that a certain Rani used to come and visit her from time to time. The dates are 1941 October, 1942 March, and 1943 October 21. Three contacts. Then poor. What does poor mean anyway?
So poor, so there are three categories, right? Advanced souls, poor, and musts. So when he refers to poor, it means that he met a multitude of people who are poor and usually was either feeding them or giving them clothes.
Oh,
But it's a significant contact. So I think two times there have been asterisks against poor. One was Calcutta. This
yes.
is Lucknow.
Fine,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
mass contact. In that hall he had done actually. There is a hall. I think that reference should come. Yeah.
Yes.
Continue. Continue. Yeah.
Yeah. When Baba and a group of his disciples were on their way back from Calcutta to Lahore in 1943, after having distributed prasad in Calcutta, Baba decided to halt a few days at Lucknow and give a substantial meal to some poor people there. With the help of members of Ram Tirtha publication League, who arranged the cooking of the food, a sumptuous meal was given to about 300 poor and infirm people in the Verma Memorial Hall Library. The helpers in Lucknow were inordinately inquisitive about Baba's identity, and as his name had to be kept secret, there was some difficulty in parrying the inquiries of many who were attracted by his personality and by his silence. This feast was in some ways unique because Brahmins, Muslims, lepers, and beggars of immiscible, immiscible religion and caste sat down together at one meal, and there is no common
Go ahead. Sorry.
thing in India. Baba himself served the food with the help of the mandali, and after the meal, each guest was given once 1 rupee by Baba's own hands. This is 1943 October.
Yeah. When there was 75th year, there was a program that was organized by Lucknow Center, and I happened to be there.
Wow.
And there is a hotel room. That hall is still there, and it is still functional. One can book it for purposes personal or whatever. And the hotel is nearby where Baba had stayed. That room is still there. So that I didn't know about it. And then Gopi, of who is a trustee,
Hyderabad.
he
Yeah.
stayed in that room. He stayed in that room, and he told me I'm staying in the same room that Baba stayed. So all that is history is still available, to access. Yeah, Jai Baba.
Wow.
Okay.
So let's just quickly
Yes.
see what this immiscible is. Immiscible religion, he says, not forming a homogeneous mixture when mixed. So I think basically mixed religions, immiscible, immixable. So I'm Muslim, I'm sitting next to a Jain, and he who's sitting next to a
Right,
Christian, whatever. So
right, right,
immiscible
right,
religion.
right. Yeah,
That's what he means. And we have
yeah.
seen repeated references to advanced and adept souls. So I'll quickly remind ourselves of that. So if you see it, advanced is third and fourth, adept is fifth and sixth, right? So just for your reference.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Let's continue. I
Ludhiana.
think it's Ludhiana, not
Oh,
typo.
D3.
D. So D3
Ludhiana
must
is in
be,
Haryana, right? Haryana.
yeah, must be, yeah, it's Ludhiana only.
Yeah, it's Ludhiana only. It's a
Yeah,
typo.
typo.
Continuing Ludhiana, D3, Dandekar Baba. This is 4th of May 1946. An adept pilgrim, an old man who wears ochre robes and has an ashram with many disciples, both men and women. He confines himself in a room all day and comes downstairs each evening to give darshan. When Baba and his attendants arrived, an arti ceremony was being performed before him. After this was completed, Baba contacted him alone in his room.
Yeah, surprising. Dandekar is a Maharashtrian surname actually, and he is found in Ludhiana.
Correct.
See that? Yeah, Jai Baba.
Yes. Okay, Baba.
And another reason why the Totapuri is different is the periods, right?
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
time is
1940s.
different.
Yeah,
That is 1830s. Something.
exactly. Just hit me now, but then I wanted to share it. Okay, this is Lawalpur.
Yeah, correct. Thanks for the seeing that reference of location. Name not known. This is 5th of October 1946. A high must, a Christian whom Baba was very keen to contact. The must, however, was elusive and difficult. One of his disciples told how, as soon as he saw Baba and his attendants approaching, he lay down and pretended to be asleep. Remember that he had no external means of knowing who Baba was. One of his disciples shook him and tried to make him get up when Baba was there, but he resolutely continued to act as if he were asleep. Baba went twice to him and the same thing happened. And he explained that if they persuade the must to open his eyes for a moment, the necessary contact could be made. It seems, therefore, that a direct glance is enough for a contact when necessary. In this case, however, the must importunately continued to feign sleep, feign sleep, so that Baba had to depart without achieving his purpose. Is it unfortunately or importunately? What does importunately mean?
We'll find out. But the rarity is, I think, I have not seen too many references to Christian mass. I think this is the first we are seeing. And yeah, otherwise, Christians, I mean, it's largely Muslims that are mass, if you observe. So maybe 80-90% of the mass are Muslims. 2-3% are women or lesser, and Christian is this is the first reference. So what is importunate? Troublesomely urgent. Maybe that's what it means. Troublesomely urgently continued to feign sleep. Don't worry too much about it. Basically, the contact didn't happen because this man didn't want to give up his acting. But let's find out where Lawalpur is. I think it's Pakistan. So it's a Christian in Pakistan. C3.
Yeah, it's on the left. It was there near Lahore.
Oh, there it is. So I think it's Layalpur, maybe.
Yeah,
There's a
Lahore.
stroke.
Yeah, it is called Layalpur. Yes.
Yeah, there's a stroke. This is a Y. And there's a typo here where they've made it Lawalpur.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
I've not enjoyed geography ever as much as I've been enjoying in these sessions. The old names, no, seriously, old names, new names, an understanding of Indian subcontinent in a fresh manner.
Absolutely. When we were students, we used to not like geography, but now it's significantly important.
Yeah. No, I mean, all these places, many of which I have visited, take up a new respect given that Baba's been there and done such important work. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, this is Madras, Chennai now.
Chennai. Okay. Kotwala, Kotwala Baba, Kotwala Baba. Okay. A good must in a Mazub-like state. He is an unforgettable sight since he walks along with trousers that are loose, long, and unfastened, and he constantly holds them up with one or both hands. If he forgets to hold them, they drop off but he does not seem to notice this either and walks along without them. He is very dirty and wears also a baggy old coat from which he is named. This is July 23rd, 1945. Then, still continuing on 24th July 1945, Maulvi Sahib Mastan, the spiritual chargeman of Madras, a very good must of the Jalali type. He is a fat old man in a dirty shirt and dirty trousers who potters them in triplicane.
What is about in triplicate?
Potters about in triplicane. Thanks for correcting. He often sits by the side of a certain house in a neat little lane bordered by the houses of the poor and middle class people. He was given bananas by Baba. Satisfactory contact was difficult because of inquisitive onlookers. Still continuing with Chennai.
So this is a prominent, see, the chargemen, we have come across a few of them. So this is the spiritual chargeman of Chennai. And triplicane is on the coast. It's now a premium area, but it's right on the coast. Yeah. And it has a famous Hindu temple as well. Go ahead.
So Muhammad Mastan, 24th July 1945, same date. A good must who sews pieces of cloth, tears them up, and sews them again together again. He was found in a black lane near Anderson Street, and in order to contact him, Baidul and Erich took him into the nearest office, which happened to be a small private bank. They explained that their brother, meaning Baba, wished to sit alone with the must for a few moments and asked the banker whether he would allow them to use this room. The banker, without argument or demonstration, ordered his clerks to leave the room and he himself followed them into the street. This was an unusual and refreshing gesture of confidence to an utter stranger. Baba contacted the must in the office, which was strewn with money left lying about by the banker and his employees.
Amazing, right? It's unbelievable kind of things that Baba has done.
Yes. And continuing with Chennai and F11, Nathan Swami. This is again 23rd July 1945.
The third must contacted on the same day. No, I think.
Sorry, it's after July 24th, we come to July 23. It might be either a typo or maybe
No, it's not a typo. It's sorted by city,
name.
Then by name.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's okay. Yeah. Just my mathematical mind. A moderate.
Your incorrigible systematic mind. That's your problem.
It must be,
Yeah. Clinical.
Clinical, yes, absolutely. A moderate must of the Jamali type who is a tireless scribbler with chalk. He hangs about the fruit market and writes with a piece of chalk on any available surface. Any word, phrase, or number that takes his fancy. For several hundred yards around the market, one may observe lines of numbers or nonsensical words several feet long, scribbled on roads, pavements, plinths, parapets, walls, boards, in short, on any tempting surface. He begs for one thing only, chalk, and is supplied with as much as he needs by several shopkeepers.
Anybody else wants to read after Ram Swarup Swami? You've just finished this.
Okay, I'll finish there.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Sure. After Ram Swarup Swami. Go ahead, Ashok.
Okay. Ram Swarup Swami, still in Chennai, and 23rd July 1945. A good must in a Mazub-like state. He is completely naked, rather dark-skinned, in early middle age, and has absolutely no body consciousness whatever. He lives in one of a cluster of neglected small temples near Kurukpetal station on the outskirts of Madras. He eats any sort of food, even filth, if that comes to hand. Baba fed him, sat with him for nearly an hour, and gave him 1 rupee. He is a peculiar must, being an ittifaqi, having traits of a Madarzal. Avatar.
Others are born.
Yeah, born and
Born must.
accidental. Yeah, so he has traits of both. So it's not clear whether he is Ittefaqi or Madarzal.
Avatar Meher Baba Kiche.
Okay.
Yeah.
So adept is which plane? Quiz now.
Adept is the sixth plane.
Fifth
Sixth
and
and
sixth.
seventh.
Fifth or sixth. No,
Fifth
seventh.
and fifth.
Seventh is Madhu.
Okay. Fifth and
Yeah.
sixth.
Fifth or sixth. Fifth or sixth, yeah.
Okay. So it is written Madura. It could have probably Madurai. I don't know. But
E12.
No,
E12.
Madura is North India, right? Madura, near Delhi, near Agra.
Mathura.
No, I think it's Madurai. Or
12 means it has to be down.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
I
So it's
see, I see, I see.
Madurai.
Yeah. So from now
Madurai.
I'm able to connect.
Yeah, there it's written Madurai, Madurai.
No, actually, on the map it's Madura.
Madura.
But then
Madura.
when he contacted Chatti Baba and all that, he clearly says Madurai. So I don't know.
Okay.
Typo maybe.
Yeah. Okay. An adept pilgrim of giant-like physical stature and eccentric behavior. This was on January 9, 1940. He is a stout and very tall old man who wears 4 or 5 coats and walks about in sandals made from old hose pipes. He has a taste for cigars and strides along in a commanding manner with a cigar in his mouth. He sleeps in the great temple of Madura, one of the most significant temples in the whole of India. So it has to be Madurai. Okay.
Yeah.
He was, yeah. So he was brought to the traveler's bungalow where all his overcoats and other clothes were removed and was given a bath by Baba. He remained with Baba in the bungalow for a few hours and Baba told Jal Kerawala to give his overcoat to this man. A taste for cigarettes and bidis is very common among Masts, but cigar smoking is rare. Abdul Qadir Zilani of Tanjore, Chatti Baba of Nagapatnam, and Mama Mast of Hyderabad, Deccan, are the only other Masts contacted by Baba who are addicted to cigar smoking. Chatti Baba only smokes cigars occasionally. Wow.
Wow.
So it's the famous Madurai temple. He was around that place. So Baba
Meenakshi
was
temple.
there So Baba was there around that temple. Oh wow.
Karthik, did you say Meenakshi temple?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the famous Madurai temple, right? Meenakshi temple.
Yes.
No, it is.
Yeah, that's the
Houston has-
most likely that must be the one. There are
Yeah.
many temples in Madurai, but the biggest and prominent one
Yeah.
is
Yes,
Meenakshi.
yeah.
I think in Houston they built exactly same Meenakshi temple, same like Madurai Meenakshi temple.
Incidentally, just last week I saw a movie with the same name and it's got a reference to temple also. I think it's Meenakshi something. It's on OTT on Netflix.
Yeah. I couldn't
What is
last
it?
more
What
than
is it,
15 minutes on it. I remember what you're talking about.
What is it, Ashok? Tell me again.
There's some movie with the Meenakshi temple.
It's just this. It's very tripey. I gave up in 15 minutes.
Okay.
The name tempted me, but I couldn't last more than 15 minutes.
Yes.
Oh, by the
So
way, thanks Sanjay ji for that tip. Abdul and the Crown. I mean, on the Queen. So
Okay.
I looked up on Netflix. Unfortunately, it's not visible in Dubai. Can anyone confirm if it's still available in India zone?
Yeah, it is there. I've seen it. It's a good
on
Netflix.
Netflix, right? Abdul and the Queen. That's the word.
Correct. That's-
Victoria
so-
and Abdul.
Can you
I think it's-
name the film properly on the chat box, Ashok ji? Because I tried to search Abdul I wrote
No,
and then it was not coming. Then I
found
dropped
it
it.
on the browser. I found it on the browser.
It's a
and
Victoria and
Victoria.
Abdul. It's a Victoria
Victoria
and Abdul.
and Abdul.
Victoria.
Okay. So that's how it didn't come. Victoria and Abdul. I'll search.
Victoria and Abdul.
No, I got it.
Should be
For the
available.
friendship,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that
there.
Candela is
Victoria and Adbul. And is a sign and not
no,
A
but
and
But
D.
in the
then
movie, I didn't see any spiritual thing, right? It's he goes to London as a
Yeah, yeah, there's
servant.
nothing. There's nothing.
It's a
So
relationship of the Queen and the
Yeah, it's
Abdul.
relationship.
So it's
Yes,
based on
Queen and
that. It's
Abdul.
not a spiritual movie.
but see, in
Yeah.
the last last things he asks a question that was very profound. He tells it from the Quran what it is. The last question
Yeah,
before she
yes.
dies. I don't remember exactly, but if you Google it, you will find it.
okay.
I, and
So it's
I read the Wikipedia. I read Wikipedia after like the Victoria Queen died. I think that another king he just kicked him out to India, and I think.
No, everybody hated
correct,
him.
correct.
Everybody hated him, right? So I believe
Yeah,
that he
Yeah.
because
was
he were
so
very close.
powerful. Yeah, he was so
Yeah.
powerful, and the queen used to confide in him. And otherwise, Victoria was, Victoria. She was very, very, very regal, very secretive, very, very, very powerful leader, right? For her to actually confide and build a relationship with a so-called native was seen very, very differently by the British then, I'm
Suspicion,
sure.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think so I just noticed that there is a book by Shrabani Basu with, I don't know whether this is an original photograph, but do you remember the photograph in Glow? It looks exactly like this. I'll send a photograph maybe later. He looks
I have it on my desk. I can.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
called Abdul Karim, his full name. And
Abdul Karim. Yeah, Abdul
yeah,
Karim.
fascinating. So anyway, sorry for that departure. Mandla.
Okay. So Sabal Bua. Mandla must be in
Madhya
MP,
Pradesh,
right?
right?
Madhya
Madhya
MP. Yeah.
Pradesh must be
A
F7.
good must. Yeah. Sorry.
F7. Yeah. Mandla is here. Bilaspur, Jabalpur ke niche.
Yes, yes, yes. Mandla is a place where there is Baba's Samadhi. There is a Samadhi near
Nasik, right?
Jabalpur. No, no, no.
Nasik.
Nasik was much later. It is very
Later.
recent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mandla
Madhya
is
Pradesh,
the
there is
one
a
which,
place.
yeah. So there
I
is a
don't remember
place in
exactly.
MP where a Samadhi was built and it was abandoned and it was like, but now the lovers have taken charge of that place and
You're right.
refurbished it. So interesting to find out more about that. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
this is the Samadhi at Mandla. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place in New Mexico. One gentleman was trying to build exactly. He built the outer, and then he passed away
Oh,
in US.
white guy, Desi guy.
Yeah, I think white guy. No, this guy, white guy.
Okay, okay.
There are very few Indian Baba lovers. Well, I don't know. I see Ashish, and there are few that I know.
You mean in there are few
Yeah.
Desis who are Baba lovers in US, is it?
Right.
Yeah, probably right. I mean, does the name
Maybe
Meher Kiran
there are
ring a
many.
bell?
Surprisingly, where Shashwat is doing his internship
Uh-huh.
in Milpitas,
Uh-huh.
there is a HR girl, and she
Okay.
comes and she's an Indian, and she comes and talks to Shashwat and says, "Are you Sanjay Nigam's son?" And
Whoa.
he was very surprised. And this girl is from Hyderabad. She's a Baba lover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I saw quite a few names on these Baba Zoom meetings. There's quite a few
Yeah,
Indian
yeah.
names. So Sri Raghavan,
Yes.
then Manjusha, Jayashree,
Manjusha comes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Manjusha comes.
Manjusha from
Yeah.
Maryland, from
Mhm.
Manjusha
Even in
from
New
Maryland.
Jersey, even in New
What's
Jersey, in that Nosh, what is that exactly?
Those
Shailaja.
one and
Archive.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
many
there's
people have come
Shailaja.
actually.
Shailaja,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Prakash,
Shailaja, Shilpa.
Shilpa. Yeah.
Yeah, there
And
are a
And
couple
then
of.
I guess because US is so big and they are so scattered, and
Yeah.
whenever they have holidays, they may be flying back to India or whatever. So probably it's not very easy to
You
connect
don't know. Yeah,
physically at one location at one point of
yeah,
time
it's very
in
hard.
US. It's very hard. Yeah, people are
Mm.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And geography of US is quite far and wide
Yeah, yeah.
spread.
So big. No? So that's why.
No, but you opened a good thread, Ravi. Statistically, for the number of Indian immigrants, does the same percentage of Baba lovers in India, in the Indian population, carry on to US? Maybe not. So you have a point there. So if you look at the 2 lakh, 4 lakh people that know and are actively classifiable as Baba lovers in India, what is it, 3 million plus in
Yeah,
US,
US,
right?
right?
I
Eh,
don't think, yeah, you're probably onto something. Let me think a little more.
It's around 7 lakh worldwide.
What's that?
The number of people who are uh, in the Baba's Daman or Baba's fold is around
Arguably 7, 8, 9, whatever. Yeah.
whatever. It's above 7, but I read.
Okay.
Yeah,
I read.
yeah. So I think let's not count because Baba said, "Do you want me to tell you the number of hairs in my head?" So that quote is we should remember.
Oh wow, he said that when asked
Yeah, yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. Somebody asked him,
Wow.
how many followers you have?" And he said, "Do you want to count the number of hairs on your head?" That's what his reply in the I think initial phases of his visit to US. That
I would
question
say,
was there.
pardon, Baba. It's my accounting mathematical mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did anybody
Okay.
watch this Marwan video? Marwan that
Yeah.
came into White House recently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it partially, not fully, but yeah,
It's
I
a
didn't see
thanks
the
for the link.
video. I saw
very,
the
Pictures,
photograph.
yes.
yeah, very interesting. He comes to America, studies in South Carolina, and then joins as a car salesman in Lexus. And
Okay.
then
Ravi,
this man,
Ravi, can you please put the link on Telegram?
No, you can look him up.
yeah,
He's very, very famous. Just look for Baba's name, right? So Merwan
Marwan.
Irani chef, and that's
He gave
it.
a very good talk, very heartful
Okay,
talk.
I'll look it up in YouTube maybe.
Yeah. So he works with a Lexus. He sells 5 cars in one day in a small
Wow.
town.
Mm-hmm.
And then the manager said something, and somehow Merwan thinks that his manager doesn't like him. Whatever, he didn't express that much. And then one day he asks, "I want a vacation," And the manager asks, "Where do you want to go?" "I want to go to Metal Beach." "Why do you want to go there?" "I have family there." And
Mm-hmm.
he said, "Do you know Meher Baba's place is there?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, I know." So
The boss
Merwan asked
says he
him,
knows.
yeah, Merwan asked, "How do you know about Meher Baba place?" And he said, "When I was young, I used to be a cab driver. So I took this guy from airport to Delmonico Hotel, and I dropped him, and we were talking in the car. And I asked him, "Why are you going to Delmonico Hotel?" He said, "I'm going to meet a Indian mystic." So when he
Wow.
got down, he asked the cab driver, "Do you want to come and meet him?" He said, "Yeah, I'll come and meet." So he goes inside. A lot of people are sitting there on the stage. Baba was sitting there. He goes and takes darshan, and Baba gives him a Baba button, and that's how he remembers. And
And Delmonco is in
New
where
York,
New York. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Baba
Close to
Baba
Myrtle
stayed
Beach.
there.
No, New
Yeah.
York. So
New York, New York.
it's a
New
New York.
York. Okay. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Is not there anymore. That
Delmonico
hotel is
Hotel.
gone.
Delmonico
Correct.
Hotel.
Delmonico
Yeah, yeah.
Hotel. Right, right,
Correct,
right.
correct, correct, correct.
And this
So Merwan asks him, "Do you want to give me that pin,
Baba
Button.
Button.
Baba button?" He said, "No, no, no. That is my lucky charm. Since ever I got that Baba pin, my whole life changed." Something like that. He said.
Interesting.
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
And you know one thing, this Merwan Irani, he has his own shop, own Indian restaurant, I think, Chai Pani in
Yeah, in
Atlanta.
Asheville.
So he
Yeah,
started in Asheville.
Pani Puri.
Now,
Bel Puri, Pani Puri, something like that.
Yeah, and
Chai
he
pani.
prepared food for Narendra Modi ji. Just Narendra Modi came here, right, in Washington DC.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
That's what Ravi
He
said. White
visited White
House.
House.
Yeah, yeah,
White House.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
He is the cook. Yeah,
yeah. He was part
master
of the
chef.
team that cooked for Modi.
Mm.
So he won a very big award last year. So first, I think he set up the first restaurant in Asheville, which is where a big Baba community lives, Asheville,
Yeah,
North Carolina.
Nashville. Yeah.
And then from there, he moved and set up in downtown New York, I think post pandemic. I mean, interesting career trajectory, right? Like you said. And he set up, and New York is a very, very competitive place when it comes to restaurants. Breaking into a restaurant scene and being successful is very difficult,
Mm.
right? And
Mhm.
he's in 2 years he's right on top. So it's obviously something Baba's working on in a very big way, and I was amazed that there he was in DC with Modi. So I hope he got a chance to talk about Baba to Modi. I wish he did, and I think there's something afoot.
Yes.
Mhm.
And thanks for that. The Oscars of the food is what I could see on the.
No, there are many awards he's won, but you should research him. He talks at the Northeast Sehwas in 2022. You can listen to that conversation on YouTube, which
It
is
was
very
very
nice.
good. Yeah, very, yeah, heartwarming. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, very nice. Both, I think,
Chai pani. Yeah.
yeah.
Chai Pani and Boti Wala. Okay? Chai Pani, Boti Wala, and Buxton Hall. 3 restaurants.
Okay, I don't know the names. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I
Three.
wonder
He
how.
has his manager Daniel Peach,
Yeah,
who
Okay.
was his
he's
manager and now he's his partner. And Daniel Peach has married an Indian girl.
that
So
Indian girl is my maternal sister actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
दुनिया गोल है, okay.
yeah,
What,
We say.
Ashish, your cousin, is it? Or
yeah. She's my maternal sister. She married to Daniel Pitch.
हाँ,
okay,
Daniel
that,
works with Merwan. Yeah.
Chaipan. Yeah.
Yeah, I had
He
exchanged some
speaks.
messages with Daniel when Shashwat was there. So
So Sanjay and
Shashwat.
Karthik and all others, you keep a note of all these places where Baba went in the US. And if we plan, whenever we plan the trip to Myrtle Beach, we should try to
Hmm.
cover these places.
Yes. Yeah,
Insha
Baba
Baba.
willing. Yes. Insha Baba.
Baba willing, inshallah. Baba. That's great saying.
So shall we? Is it
Yeah, I think
nine?
we'll just we did not.
Just finish this one.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
finish this one and wrap up.
So let me read Sabal Bua once again. Start a good must, a 90% typical Ittefaqi, having traits of a Jalali and a Jamali. He was short of stature and naked except for a piece of sackcloth around his waist, and he had an assortment of iron chains, wires, locks, old bones, and other odd and ends attached all over his body. From the sackcloth about his waist were suspended some sickles and several bundles, and over his shoulder he carried a crowbar, stubble, hence his name. He lived under a tree in a little hut built for him by the local people near a Narbala river bridge. The local folk used to feed him and keep his hut clean and tidy. Sabbalbua used to call passers-by to come and sit near him, and he would then abuse them and demand money from them. He kept a book in which those who gave him money were made to sign their names and write down how much they had given him. A certain man who was a disciple of his used to keep the accounts of this book, and the must, as a return for this service, used to offer him water from the river to drink. Sabalbua had originally been a messenger, peon, in the local court office, and one supposes that this book of accounts was a relic of the experience of those early days. Baba contacted Sabalbua one day at the bridge where he, Sabalbua, stopped the car in which Baba was being driven. He had a habit of standing by the bridge and stopped passing cars by holding up his hands. So this was in year, let's read that again, 1939? Yeah,
January of
1939 January. So this was in Mandla. Wow.
Amazing.
Mandla is in
Yeah,
Maharashtra.
amazing.
Madhya
It is
Pradesh.
in MP, near Jabalpur. We said
Oh,
the Mandla has that Baba Samadhi. From there,
oh,
the
I see.
conversation moved
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Correct.
to what you mentioned in
Ira-
US. Yeah.
Irani, yes, sir. Merwan Irani. So let's stop here and pick it up next week.
Tomorrow,
Uh,
right? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow, sorry. Tomorrow. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. Anything else before we wrap up?
Jai Baba.
Nothing as such. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, very good.
Sorry.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, everyone.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki
Baba
jai.
ki jai.
Jai.
Avatar
Jai
Meher
Baba.
Baba ki
Baba
jai.
ki
Jai.
jai.
Avatar
Avatar
Jai
Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
Ki
jai.
jai.